So we're here with Mr. Benjamin Hurd. I would like to ask you first, Ben, as we start off, how old are you and how long have you lived in Sabattus?
Well, I'm 84 years old, or will be 9th of September, and I lived here all my life.
So,
I started...
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No,
like
it's
that,
okay.
but, we've already spoken a little bit about this, but where in Sabattus did you and have you lived?
Well, I started life right across from what is now the Sabattus Deer Shop. And that house was where my mother and father lived, Ruth and Delma Hurd. And that used to be a schoolhouse. I do not remember the name of it, but it was located right on that road. They called it the old Stagecoach Road that came from Alden Fisher's Corn Patch down through there. It crosses up by Charlie Roberts's, and it came down through there, and it came out right in the curve by Donnie Webster's house now. And that's where that schoolhouse was located. And he bought it from the town and moved it to where it sits now with 2 dump trucks. Right up the road, what was Route 9. It was still dirt then. They had jacked it up. They put it on poles. Took 2, they were old dump trucks too, loaded them with gravel, tipped the bodies up, didn't open the tailgates, chained them poles to the bodies and then let the bodies down so it picked the front of the schoolhouse right up. And they went up the road and they got stuck up on top of the first knoll, and they parked it there all night. Put a couple lanterns out, and there it sat. And then they went up the next morning and took it down to where it's sitting now.
And after that, where did you go?
After that, my father bought this farm right down below here. I don't know if it had a name, but was located on Pleasant Ridge Road. And from there, that was somewhere around 44 to 46. And we moved in there and we lived there until I think it was probably 18 years ago. We sold the farm buildings and 3 acres of land and built this house up the road. When we moved in there, all of the roads were dirt. There was no electricity. I think it was probably 3 years before electricity came in. He used to have an ice house. He started selling milk shortly after he moved in there. Sold to Pleasant Dairy in Lewiston. And he had a old milk tank that took a block of ice right in the middle, and you could put 4 cans of milk around it. And every day you had to put in a fresh block of ice. The road was all dirt. You knew in a short while, it came to where I learned, and I knew every vehicle that went up and down the road just by the sound of the rattles.
You had mentioned before we started that also there may very well have been the first town meeting for the town of Sabattus was held in.
Yeah, the lady up the Ripley Hill Road, Mrs. Clark, had gone to the Bath Registry of Deeds to clear the title on her land. And she brought me the paperwork of where, from somewheres around Stanley Wheeler's and Bowden to Jerome Davis's over here in Sabattus, had been granted to one sea captain as a grant. And in that paperwork, it gave the footage from the corner of the front window to the edge of that old road. And it also said that at that time this was known as the town of Webster, and the first town meeting had been held in there. And I can remember that on Route 9, beyond going from here back towards Sabattus, on the left, beyond John Bade's warehouse down back there, there used to be a townhouse there. It started out by being what they call the townhouse. They had all of their town meetings and things held there, and then it came to a place of where they had stored the roller that they had pulled with horses to roll the snow and pack it on the road instead of plowing it. And it also had up in there the sidewalk plow that they used with one horse to plow the town sidewalks. Another thing that I think is kind of interesting, at the time we moved here from over there on Route 9, there were 28 farms in town, and now there's just one left. I don't mean just farms. Yes, there is some vegetable farms, but at that time they were what I called a general farm, in that they had cattle, they had chickens, and most all of these, especially these up and down the road, had a market route, and every week, or sometimes twice a week, they would go to market with their berries, apples, vegetables, butter, milk, everything they made on the farm. In the winter they would haul wood and they would haul hay.
That is really interesting.
Yep. Now when I was a kid, I wished I had saved it. In the top of our house there was an old math book. And in that, and I can remember doing this when we were in school, it gave you the formulas to figure out from a loose packed or a hard packed mow of hay how many feet you cut out to make a ton. The same way with a pile of wood thrown up in a cone like that. You measure the base, the height, and the formula would give you how many cords could be in that pile.